明知道这些年我为了一步步向上爬，我过得多辛苦，我一次次出卖自己，你都知道，你偏偏跟我抢。还有，你不是说我们是好姐妹吗？你说的好姐妹吗？
这些都不是你不择手段上位的理由，并且我跟小鱼可以帮你。
After a one-night stand with a handsome stranger, she mercilessly wrote unqualified on his chest with her lipstick, threw 250 yuan at him, and walked away, thinking she'd never see him again. But she didn't know her life was about to be turned completely upside down. At a doctor's appointment, she was stunned to learn she was 6 weeks pregnant from that one night. As she reeled from the news, her boss called angrily and threatened to fire her if she didn't come in right away for the new CEO's inspection. Rushing to the office, she couldn't believe her eyes. The man everyone was fawning over turned out to be an assistant in disguise. The real CEO, Henry Miller, the man from the hotel, was walking through the office in disguise, and he had just spotted her. Later, he cornered her in the elevator and pinned her against the wall. He smirked and said that since she thought his skills were so poor, he needed more practice. But as he leaned in, she suddenly felt sick and ran to the bathroom to throw up. At that moment, a memory flashed through his mind. 8 years earlier, he had been a teenager running from his father's debt collectors. A young car wash girl had hidden him in a car. Before he fled, he gave her a small yellow flower hair tie and asked for her name. Now he looked at the same hair tie he'd kept all these years. He wondered when she would finally remember him.
好点了吗？没事吧？你真要把孩子给生下来？
She bravely told her best friend she was determined to keep the baby, even though she didn't know who the father was and would have to raise it alone. But she didn't realize a jealous colleague had overheard everything from a bathroom stall and was already plotting her downfall. Since she was an orphan, the orphanage director, Mother Susan, set her up on a blind date. To her surprise, the date turned out to be a handsome rock climbing athlete she'd volunteered with before. He was shocked to learn she was pregnant, but gallantly offered to help raise the child. Just as he was sincerely confessing his feelings, the CEO, who'd been watching secretly, stormed over and wrapped his arm around her. The athlete was stunned and asked who he was. The CEO coldly declared that by day he was her boss, but by night she was his. He then dragged her away, pinned her against a wall, and demanded to know what she was trying to pull.
江早早，你说我想干嘛？
脸这么软，嘴倒挺硬。
你就没什么要跟我解释的吗？
解释？有什么好解释的？
解释我胆大包天，把大老板当成极品鸭，还是解释我宠爱着小金鸭，想要偷偷生下来？到底我该怎么解释啊？
Realizing her sarcasm wasn't working, she panicked and declared her undying love for her job, promising she wouldn't let personal matters interfere with her career. But he saw right through her. To trap her, he coldly ordered his assistant to schedule a mandatory physical exam for the whole company. Later, as she frantically searched the office for her hidden pregnancy report, he appeared holding the very paper she was looking for. He told her he'd known all along she was pregnant and that the baby was his. He furiously listed her crimes: sleeping with him, taking his child on a date with another man, and trying to hide the truth. As he asked how he should punish her, she feared he would force her to get rid of the baby. She suddenly clutched her stomach, faking a sharp pain, and used his moment of shock to run away. But he wasn't finished. He brought her to his luxurious home and stunned her by asking her to marry him. He said he wanted to give their child a proper family and a home with both parents. He got down on one knee and asked her to give him a chance to spend the rest of their lives together. Overcome with emotion, she finally agreed. The first thing the CEO did after the meeting was slam his new wife against a corridor wall and kiss her passionately. She was terrified and reminded him that he was the powerful boss and she was just an employee in the middle of a critical promotion period. But no one at the company knew the two of them had secretly just gotten their marriage certificates. The night before, on their wedding night, she had insisted he honor their agreement to sleep in separate homes for now. The powerful CEO playfully cornered her, unbuttoning his coat and loosening his tie, saying it was getting hot. When she held her ground, he shamelessly demanded compensation for his lonely wedding night and leaned in for a kiss. The very next day, that secret marriage almost wrecked her career. In a high-stakes board meeting, a jealous rival publicly challenged her over a difficult legal case and tried to humiliate her. Sarah reached for her laptop to present her solution but froze in absolute horror. Only then did she realize she'd accidentally swapped laptops with her husband that morning. With her rival sneering and the entire board watching, she had no choice but to stand and present the complex case entirely from memory. She delivered a flawless, brilliant argument that stunned her rival into silence and impressed the whole room. After her success, her husband publicly praised her and then told her to follow him to his office. Her rival smirked, sure she was about to be fired. But the moment they were out of sight, he pushed her against the wall and kissed her again. She begged him to keep their relationship a secret for her career.
你是总裁，我是职员，而且现在是我晋升的关键时期。我努力了那么久，我不希望……好了，我不说了。
He just smiled and agreed to attend the company retreat only because his wife had personally invited him. After a fierce argument, the jealous woman shoved her rival into the pool and was dragged in herself during the struggle. This was all part of a trap. At the company retreat, the hotel manager mistakenly announced Sarah was their 999th guest and upgraded her to a private hot spring suite. Her bitter rival, who was the 998th guest, was furious and publicly accused Sarah of stealing the prize. The manager explained the upgrade was based on check-in order, but the rival continued to humiliate Sarah and called her a cheap opportunist. In the fight over the room key, both women tumbled into the pool. Once they were out, the rival accused Sarah of being promiscuous and of not even knowing who her baby's father was, threatening to expose her. What the rival didn't know was that this was all a setup orchestrated by Sarah's secret husband, the CEO. Sarah entered her luxurious suite and found him coming out of the shower in a bathrobe. He teased her, saying his wife had invited him. Just as they were about to kiss, the rival convinced Sarah was hiding a lover burst into the room with other colleagues ready to catch her in the act. But Sarah had already shoved her CEO husband into a hidden closet. He demanded a reward for his cooperation and kissed her passionately just as her rival kicked the door open. The first thing she did after shoving her rivals out was turn and find her secret billionaire husband standing right behind her on the balcony. He teased her, asking if she was looking for him, and cornered her against the wall, demanding a reward for hiding so well. Later at a bonfire, her rival humiliated her again by telling the CEO that Sarah had bet a huge amount that he would come to the retreat, making Sarah look like a greedy gold digger. The rival sneered that Sarah only came to the retreat at the last minute because she was sure she could win the bet. The CEO's face went dark when he believed Sarah had used him. What he didn't know was she had begged him to come because she really wanted to see him. Heartbroken by what he thought was a cold rejection, she was left alone while her rival gloated. The woman openly tried to seduce her boss, convinced that once she hooked him she could finally take down her rival, Sarah Green. She leaned in close and whispered she knew a special way to help him sleep, but he coldly pushed her away. He told her he knew everything and warned her not to want things that didn't belong to her. He exposed all her schemes, from seducing superiors and framing colleagues to harming the company's interests. He told her bluntly that his wife's unborn child was not a bargaining chip for a promotion. Terrified, the woman scrambled for an excuse and fled. Just then, his assistant Mark arrived, and the boss immediately ordered him to prepare his wife's favorite breakfast, showing where his true feelings were. But in the next second, the boss got a phone call. A woman's voice said simply, "I'm back," and his face froze in shock. Meanwhile, his wife was approached by a strange man who called her another name, Jane Roe. He handed her a stack of photos she'd supposedly dropped on a previous visit with her husband. When she looked at them, she was stunned to see her husband posing intimately with a woman who looked exactly like her. She insisted it wasn't her and felt her head swim with confusion. Just then, the assistant arrived with the breakfast the boss had ordered.
王助理，
夏小姐，这是霍总特意让人准备的，我遇上了，送给您送来。
谢谢你啊，辛苦了，麻烦了。哎，冯助理，
夫人还有什么吩咐？
我想问一下，你知道江柔吗？
He stammered that he didn't know anyone by that name and fled, his odd behavior confirming her worst fears.
而且这什么破名儿，什么僵柔僵硬的？那个夫人还有事吗？没事的话，我先走了啊。
哎，冯浩，我想问一下，
夫人，早点休息。
What she didn't see was him secretly texting his boss, warning him that his wife was asking about Jane Roe and getting suspicious. Later, while eating, she found a small note hidden under her food. It read, "I'll be waiting for you at the coffee shop tonight," and it was signed by Jane Roe. Determined to get to the bottom of it, she went to the coffee shop that evening. As she walked in, she saw a woman with her exact face walking toward her. The woman stopped in front of her, smirked, and said, "Hello, I am Jane Roe." The woman who looked just like her confronted her and asked why she looked different from the photos. Jane Roe calmly explained she'd been in a car accident and plastic surgery changed her appearance, and she pointed out the irony that the wife now looked exactly like she used to. Then she dropped a bombshell and asked the wife to give her husband back. She told a tragic story of an 8-year relationship, a severe car accident, and how she left the country so she wouldn't be a burden to his rising career. She said that when she came back and saw him again, she knew they still loved each other. The wife stayed unmoved and said love wasn't a game and that she trusted her husband and his commitment. But Jane Roe planted a seed of doubt and asked why she thought he married her so quickly after learning she was pregnant. Meanwhile, the husband desperately searched for the woman from his memories, the one he had painted, not knowing his rival had returned. He was so consumed by that search that he brushed Jane Roe off coldly when she visited him, saying his mother had arranged their meeting, not him. Devastated, she watched him leave, and her jealousy turned to rage. Staring at the painting of the woman he couldn't forget, she muttered, "How am I not as good as her?" She went to a plastic surgeon with the painting and said, "I want this face." After the surgery, she looked in the mirror and smiled at her new appearance. She took the painting and smeared black paint across the eyes, vowing that no matter how many times he rejected her, she would make him hers in the end. Sometime later, she forced herself on him in bed and kissed him passionately. He was startled to see a distinct butterfly tattoo on her shoulder, the same tattoo as the woman from his memories. But as he looked closer, he realized something was wrong. He pushed her away and shouted, "You're not her." He accused her of faking her identity, which she tearfully admitted she had done because she knew he loved that face. He exploded with rage and yelled that even with that face, she could never become the other woman. She clung to him and cried that she had given up everything for him. He shoved her away and ordered her to change her face back, roaring that he never loved the face, he loved the person.